All right, welcome back. Hour number 3, Idaho Sports Talk, going to get after it this hour. We're asking you just point blank, who do you prefer? The CBS broadcast team for the NFL, their number one team, or the Fox number one team? You're getting both doses this Sunday, Prayer, and we're going to open that up a little later and ask our listeners which one they prefer.
Yeah, even throw in the sideline reporters.
Yeah.
There's Tom Rinaldi and Aaron Andrews on the Fox side, and Tracy Wolfson and Evan Washburn, and a little Jay Feely on the CBS side. So, we all view our football playoffs on Sundays and the weekends through our television sets. And I know a lot of you are a lot more critical about the TV production and the broadcasters than you are about the football. We want to hear from you in about 10 minutes.
I love it. So we'll do that when we do that. Until then, Prater, are you surprised? The news today, Raheem Morris, Rams defensive coordinator, if the name's familiar, he's been a head coach before. He's going to get the Falcons gig. That's been announced. Adam Schefter on the tweet, which leaves 2 jobs open: Washington Commanders, Seattle Seahawks. Unless Bill Belichick is going to get one of these 2 openings, Prater, the league, at least in this cycle, is going to move on from Bill Belichick, and he won't have the opportunity to chasing down Don Shula's all-time record, or try to, rejuvenate something without Tom Brady. I know that's been really hard, obviously, but it feels to me, does that surprise you that there was at one point, 6, 7 openings? Bill Belichick didn't get a gig, dude.
Yeah, sitting here today, no, not surprised at all. 48 hours ago, yeah, but that's how fast this story has developed. And if you think back about it, he was really only linked to, was there 7 at the height of NFL vacancies? I think there were 7, maybe 8. He was only really linked to the Falcons. I think he got one other interview, and I'm not even sure what that was.
Was it the Chargers who interviewed everybody? JP got an interview with the Chargers.
That's true. That is true. So they were looking for everybody, but no. I mean, we talked about it real briefly on the show yesterday. It didn't look like it was going to happen. I think Bill Belichick, I don't want to say he's in behind the scenes, he's comfortable with moving on. But to me, it seems like he's the kind of guy that would march into an interview and said, yeah, I'd love to have your job, but we're going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick's my way doesn't work in the NFL anymore. And I'm not sure it's worth the risk anymore. The true colors kind of came out. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady weren't great. They were obviously great together. They were a great team together.
Best ever.
And Belichick was a massive part of that. So you can't dispute that. But Bill Belichick on his own with the Falcons, with Desmond and Ritter, I mean, I'd move to Martha's Vineyard instead of coaching Desmond Ritter myself.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, totally. Desmond Ritter, I mean, he might be a backup. They're going to go in a quarterback direction, I would think, but
that's who they have now.
I don't think that's why Bill Belichick isn't the coach of the Falcons. They have Taylor Heineke too.
Okay,
pop
great,
open
great,
a Heineke,
right?
The most interesting man in the world. No, that's Dos Equis, Prater. But yeah, I mean, I feel for Bill Belichick. You said earlier, I'm not feeling sorry for Bill Belichick. And I was like, yeah, why would you? Why would you feel sorry for a guy who's second all time in wins, but he wants to be first? He's not going to get that opportunity. And Bill Belichick is never going to have a chance. At least we'll see. Maybe there's another cycle, but you think if he doesn't get a gig this year, then he's a year older than Prater. Pretty soon he's 73, 74-ish. Like, you're not hiring Bill Belichick. It was going to be this cycle, Prater. It was going to be this cycle. And here's where, I feel sorry for Bill. He's never going to get the chance to say he could get it done without Brady. That's kind of where it's going to end for him. And he's not going to pass Shula. If you're a Dolphin fan, an old school NFL guy, you are a big Don Shula honk, you're loving this today. Belichick, with the opportunity, you give him 2-3 years, he's going to win 5, 6, 7 games a year. He would have been able to eclipse that eventually. So I feel bad for him there. And I have a feeling I'm going to say this a lot on the radio the rest of my career in this business, because Bill's name will come up, and what everybody is going to say, and rightfully so, is look at his record with Brady and look at his record without Brady. And there's no argument to be made, except Prater when he was in Cleveland. Okay. The first time with Bill Belichick, his quarterbacks, Vinny Testaverde, Mark Rippon, Bernie Kosar, Todd Philcox, and Mike Tomczak. At New England, after Brady, it was, Mac Jones and a couple other bumble turds there. The not Heineke. What was his name again? The Western Kentucky kid, Bailey Zappi. Like, Bill Belichick never had a good quarterback outside of Brady. He had Bledsoe for a year, a little bit there, but yeah.
But that might be his fault. The way he ran the off-season operations and the way he refused to turn the roster over, the stubbornness that man showed. I don't feel sorry for him at all. One, he's never going to get the chance to prove it that he can do it without Brady. Even if he goes to the Falcons, the Brady legacy has sailed. He's starting a new chapter, a new report, new writings, everything. And chasing Brady or chasing a Super Bowl without Brady is never going to happen for Bill Belichick. And two, I'm not so much sure how much he really cares about that record. I think he can go to sleep at night thinking, second's pretty good.
Maybe. Sure.
I don't think he cares about that stuff. Now, he certainly doesn't care about that stuff publicly. Privately, he might go say, yeah, I would love to have done it, but I think Bill Belichick's at peace with where he is.
You'd think if you have 6 Super Bowls, you better damn well be at peace with your career.
Yes.
Right? And maybe it is time to get your hot girlfriend and take her up to Martha's Vineyard and just be the cool Bill Belichick guy, reshape your stuff. Maybe, and I would never expect him to take a TV gig, but maybe at some point he gets an itch. He says, you know what the hell? I'll pop on there and I will show some personality and show some color because he will have to in that line of work. Or I don't know what's next for Bill. Is he an analyst? Is he one of these guys that just won't want to go away? Like his son, for that matter. I believe he's still on the Patriots staff. I think Mayo kept his son, Steven, as a defensive coach. Does Bill kind of creep back in, Mr. Kraft, analyst, advisor? Like, hey,
no.
I mean, it's Belichick. I mean, imagine how comfortable that would be for Belichick to text or call Robert Kraft and have to say, hey, I didn't get the gig I was looking for. Is there anything that needs getting done around there? Like some intern who called Mike Prater at the Idaho Statesman for 20 years. Prater, I'll empty your garbage cans. I just want to be in the building. Show me your ways.
Come on, Ballgame. You really think Bill Belichick's that kind of guy? Come on.
Of course not.
You're creating you're fabricating
but what's
nonsense.
Next? I guess nothing. And I
That's okay.
I don't feel good about that, man.
You should.
Bill Belichick wanted to coach in this league, and there wasn't a team that would let him. I'm soapboxing this son of a gun today.
He wanted to coach in this league doing it his way.
Yeah.
His way. And the league has passed him by. And don't feel sorry for him. And he's 73, 74. How about this ball game?
Yeah.
How about a Bill Belichick and Nick Saban podcast? They're both looking for work to do.
Let me tell you this. You need a host because those two guys, and
yes,
I am available, huh?
Saban could be the host. Saban's the most media-savvy human on the planet.
Well, this is the Bill and Nick podcast, and we're going to be tying them. I don't know.
You haven't seen enough. You haven't seen enough Nick Saban on television. I mean, I'm not talking about press conferences, dude. I'm talking about television. I'm talking about
Nick Saban could drive a podcast with Bill Belichick.
Absolutely. Bill Belichick couldn't.
Who'd sponsor that? What would be the ideal sponsor? Just for men? Barbasol, like some old shaving cream, Old Spice, JP.
Oh, Johnny.
JP wears Old Spice every day. Like, something on those lines. Like, but no, a Belichick Saban podcast. Would you guys listen to that? Text us and let us know. But yeah, well, okay, let's get to Kellen on this because we were expecting maybe one of these dominoes to fall. Prater would at least have some type of inclusion of Kellen. And I think what's going to happen if Philly hires a coordinator not named Kellen? Same with Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Those are his 2 interviews. And then I don't know what's happening with the Seattle job. I mean, is it in play that a week from now or whenever, when there's no NFL jobs open, that Kellen Moore is still shopping himself around for OC gigs? Feels like that's in play.
Maybe a little bit here. I'm worried about the Browns one. I don't like the Browns ones because I don't like the Browns, and Stefanski's the play caller there, and that just seems like a charity case to me. Philadelphia's job is wide open. They fired my boy, Brian Johnson. I'm not sure why they fired him. Maybe because Jalen Hurts got, he wasn't being developed.
Yeah,
but Brian Johnson, at one point, a hot candidate around here. I believe he was in the mix for the Andy Avalos job here at Boise State at one point. Brian Johnson's gone, and Kellen to Philadelphia seems a lot of fun. Seems like still a healthy situation. You don't have to reinvent everything. And Kellen, with that franchise in Philadelphia with that quarterback and what he's got going on would be all right. But I know you're holding out hope for Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore in Seattle. Kellen Moore will be employed, but he's not as marketable as he was, and he might have to settle a little bit.
I think his best chance, if he doesn't get one of the jobs, obviously he has an interview with. Hopefully he can get one of those jobs. Would be, I think, if Dan Quinn does get the Seahawks job, I think that makes sense that he would call Kellen. I don't want that, but certainly Kellen would ease my angst a little bit of hiring Dan Quinn. But I think there's a play here that Kellen takes a year off. He's like 36. He doesn't want to take a year off.
That would be a bad look.
I don't know what Kellen would do. I mean, we get a weekly piece on this show. I could ask him for that.
Well, if he gets the year off, then let's dive into that. But if he takes the year off, it's not because he chose it.
No. It's because he didn't get an offer or an offer that he saw fit. Now, here's why I like Philly. I think Philly's the best opportunity. One, just look at their roster loaded. He'd have the opportunity to work with a Jalen Hurts at quarterback, but also, Philly's lost. Nick Sirianni has had this will be his third year with a different coordinator, the Eagles head coach.
Yep.
Because their last coordinator got the Colts job, I believe, or was it the Cardinals? Steichen. I think it was the Colts head coaching job. So if Kellen goes to Philly and they underachieve next year, Kellen's not getting the blame. The blame goes at that point to the head coach, Nick Sirianni, because they already blamed Brian Johnson for Philly's collapse at the end of the season. It wouldn't be a Kellen blame. Now, the more I sit here and think about it, I'm glad that the Chargers blocked Kellen from interviewing with JP's Bears, because Eberfluss, JP, your coach, he is history, in my opinion, after this year. So if Kellen gets that job, he'd probably be out after Eberfluss is fired as well. So yeah, we'll keep you posted when we know the latest on Kellen in the coaching carousel. Okay, Prater, we're priming the pump now. 208-424-9300. A biscuit and hogs prize at stake. Anybody who calls and comments gets put in the hat to win this drawing. Prater, what are we doing?
Let's break down some NFL broadcast crews. Two different broadcast crews. Number one cruise, All-Star Cruise on Sunday. You got the CBS crew with Romo and Nance and company. You got the Fox crew with Olsen and Burkhart. Greg. Did I get that right? Why am I
Kevin Burkhart?
Yes, and Greg Olsen and Rinaldi and Aaron Andrews and that crew. You could even throw in NBC with Tirico. You could even throw in ABC with Buck and
Aikman.
Buck and Aikman. Yes, there you go. Who do you like? We all watch football from our couch through our television sets, and you guys are more critical. We all are of the broadcast than the football team. So
yeah, we are.
I want to know what you guys like. Who you like? I don't even know who you like.
I'm going to tell you when we come back, especially CBS or Fox, the two games you're going to watch on Sunday. Which broadcast team do you prefer? Simply let us know. JP's taking those calls right now. We'll be back on IST.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.
Busy trying to head west again today on the freeways. I-84 had been back